For EP, climbing walls and handholds is our business, but that's really not why we're here. We're here to enrich people's lives and introduce climbing to the world. We know that once somebody gets an opportunity to go indoors and climb on a climbing wall, that they're going to be hooked and they're going to be a climber for life.
Hello and welcome to Chamonix in the Rhône-Alpes region of France. We're here for the IFSC second lead and fourth Speed World Cup of 2014. Chamonix is perhaps best known for its history of alpinism. It was the site of the very first Winter Olympics in 1924 and sits in the shadow of Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in the European Union. It is known as the gateway to the European Cascades, and here, for us, it marks the gateway to an exciting run of European World Cups with the IFSC. In speed, this World Cup marks the halfway point of the season. We've seen competitions in Chongqing, Baku and Hayang so far, and the World Cup rankings are still all to play for. In the women's, it has become a race between Maria Krasavina and Yulia Kaplina, and in the men's, Danilo Boldarev and Zhong Xixin battle for the title. Chamonix always offers packed crowds and an electric atmosphere, so it is with high anticipation we now turn our attention to our final 16 men and 16 women as they take to the speed wall and prepare to race.
Well, a very good evening, and let's get ready to turn that attention over to the wall. As you can see, the crowd here is starting to fill out the square here in Chamonix. Bit of cloud cover over our heads, and we're going to hope that rain stays away as we get through the rest of our evening. Very warm welcome to you if you are joining us tonight. My name is Daniel Finn. I'll be with you all the way through this evening's entertainment, I suppose, for you guys. And if you want to get in touch with us here at the venue, as always, you can do so in the bottom right corner there using the hashtag IFSCWC. To start things off then, let's have a brief look now at our last 16 here in the men's and the women's that will be through to take part into tonight's final. We're starting off with Libor Rosa and Johan Lecusta of France on our first race. Then it'll be Reza Alaposhina Zandafar against Leonardo Guntero. Then Zhong Xixin against Alexander Shikov. Daniel Boldarev up against Arseny Shevchenko. Marcin Dzizienski against Dmitry Timofeev. Quentin Nambo against Stanislav Kokorin. Basa Mawem against Amir Mayrmuratov. And Evgeny Wojciechowski against Alessandro Santoni. Those are your 16 male athletes that'll be with us all the way through this evening. Over onto the women then, our final 16 here. Yulia Kaplina against Nina Lach. Yulia Levashkina against Alina Gaida-Makina. Margot Heitz against Alexandra Elmer. Ella Markushiva up against Maria Krasavina. Anok Jalbert up against Yana Lugovenko. Klaudia Buksek up against Patricia Trudziak. Alexandra Rudzinska up against Anastasia Kloshkova, and then Edita Ropek up against Monika Prokopiuk. As you can see, they're quite an impressive turnout for Poland here in Chamonix. In the women's, let's see whether tonight will lead them on to some medals here. So also then a brief look now at the world records as they stand. These are our current world records. You might have heard a few rumours that are circling around there that are saying things that a record has been broken here in Chamonix. I'll have more info on that a little bit later, but what I can say is that it is actually an unofficial wall here. So it's an unofficial breaking of the official speed world record, but it's not actually an official speed world record. The official men's still stands at 5.88 seconds by Evgeny Wojciechowski, and the women's still at 7.85 from Yulia Kaplina. As you can see, there's some of our previous results. On the wins there at the bottom, Yulia Levashkina set here 8.37 in Chamonix just a year or so ago, 2 years ago. She actually broke her own world record 3 times in the speed event here and didn't manage to get a medal position on the podium after being knocked out on the finals, because that's how we run things here. It goes into a knockout tournament. As we get into our final 16 in both men and women, they will be paired up against each other, and then we go into this knockout tournament to see who will be on the podium later on this evening. So let's have a little look now about what makes a wall official and not official. With us now is Mr. Graham Mollison, IFSC Technical Delegate. He's going to tell us why this wall is not an official wall. Take it away, Ray.
Well done. One of the things we look at is the overall angle of the wall, which has to be 5 degrees overhanging, plus or minus 1 degree. But we also look at variations within the wall between the different panels. Now, this wall appears to be made of 2 panels high. It's actually got sub-panels, so to speak. So you can see here, at 1.5 meters, there's obviously some construction in there. So when we go on the panel below, it's flush against the wall. So that's okay. We go above the join, it's flush. But when we go across the join, you can see there's daylight at the bottom. I mean, obviously when we're measuring it for real, we bolt it on tight. So this is just for demonstration purposes. So that's basically the reason. The variation in the angle is too much. You're allowed, it's plus or minus 0.5 degrees in the variation. When we measured it, there was 1.5 degrees variations. That's obviously way outside the tolerance.
So what is the difference on this one, particularly with the tolerance here? What's this measurement come out at, and what's this one come out at?
This was minus 1 degree. This was plus 0.5 degrees. So that's 1.5 difference.
And you're only allowed a 1 in total, which is 0.5 above and 0.5 below?
It's 0.5 for the variation. The variation of the whole wall from 1 degree is plus or minus 1. So the variation is 0.5 between panels.
So it's an exceptionally precise process. I know we've seen a lot before as well with the level at the bottom being completely precise. So the actual floor itself has to be level as well as the wall, all measuring the same millimeters.
Oh yes, there's a number of things that we look at. You can see the grid within the panel. We measure the internal grid dimensions to check that these are correct. We check the intergrid dimensions to check that these are correct. Whenever there's a change of panel, we check that the one panel's not been dropped too low, because this has happened before, so you've almost gone like that and they've not been able to fit in. We test the angle of the wall, we test how high off the ground it is, we obviously test the correct height of the holes. So there is a number of tests that we do. The general one where we have a problem is the evenness, because for example in Baku we were in a car park. Our car parks are designed not to be level, so there is runoff for the water, and we found there that there was a slight angle of the whole wall. So the wall was level, but the ground wasn't, the stage wasn't. So there's a number of things we do look at.
Of course, it seems like it's a really, really small amount or a small size, but when you go and take that onto a big scale, that then gets emphasized, does it not? That's why it's so precise, right?
Yes, because if there's for example, a 1 millimeter difference at the bottom, is that then a 15 millimeter difference at the top? And of course we have two routes. So, you know, if this one is a little bit higher because the ground's not level, then there's obviously an advantage on this route. So A, you're more likely to win the actual event, but you're also more likely to get fast time if you're only climbing 14.95 meters instead of 15.
Graham. Oh, there you can see a bit of a chat there with Mr. Graham Alderson, the IFSC technical delegate here at Chamonix, about what makes an official and an unofficial speed wall. Now then, a look at the speed rules here.
I am Christophe Billon. I work for IFSC as a technical delegate, not on this competition, but on few competitions.
Christophe, talk to us a bit about speed climbing. We wanted to ask the questions of the rules and how the competition works. How are the athletes managing to get through into the top 16?
Yeah, quickly there are 2 rounds. 1 round for qualification. The climber try to do the best time with 2 attempts in the 2 routes. And after we keep the 16 best competitor to the final round, like in tennis, in a tournament, and the best climber against the 16 to a contest, and the first at the top win the contest. In the same time, we take the time to know to try to compare with the record.
What are the rules for a correct start in speed climbing?
Yeah, for the correct start, the climber has to have the 2 ends of on holes, and 1 foot on the foot holes, and 1 foot on the starting pad.
And that then lets us know whether there's been a false start and sets the timers off, right?
Yeah, the climber can make a false start if it start just before the signal, but one, I don't know, before 0.1 second.
So they've got 0.1 second of difference that they're allowed to start between, and if they're outside of that, then that classes as a false start.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot what I was going to ask you now. When we get to the final 16, how do we work out our medals towards the end of that? How do we end up getting to a podium stage? 16 athletes, they race each other again, and then it's a knockout tournament, right?
Yeah, it's a knockout, and we have a finals with the first and the second, and a small final with the third and the fourth, like in World Cup in football.
Finally, this wall here for this competition, it's not actually an official wall this time, is it not?
Yeah, this wall is not in the tolerance specified by the IFSC. If we check the wall with the special tools, and with these tools we can know the tolerance, and the inclination of this wall is not exactly the same in the different part of the wall, and it's some parts are outside the tolerance fixed by the IFSC rules.
Thank you, Christophe. So we then prepare to get ready here at the venue. Our athletes are ready and waiting behind the wall as we move on to our top 16 athletes. Nice to have a catch up with Christophe earlier on. How about what we're expecting to see here in the Speed World Cup? 16 men, 16 women. And this is it for a medal at the halfway point of the season that could make all the difference when it comes to the world rankings and the World Cup rankings, more importantly, for this year, particularly as we are starting to move towards our World Championships as well. This is going to give us an example of who is in peak form and who might need to go back to the drawing board, as it were. Looking at the results that we've had in from the qualifications, although it is an unofficial speed wall, still some very, very impressive results from the qualifications. Libor Rosa with the time of 5.80. That's the rumour you might have heard. That's the record-breaking first one you might have heard. The second one then is in the women's with Julia Kaplina breaking her own record yet again with 7.70. A time of 7.70. Now, unfortunately, these are not official world records. These are not breaking our official world records at the moment. But still some incredibly fast climbing to put these guys through into this final here. Now, as we are used to working on this one, what will happen here is of our top 16, we take the fastest athlete and we put them against the slowest to qualify. And then we work inwards. So we start off with number 1 against number 16, and then we'll move inwards into we'll have number 2 against number 15, and so on and so forth. And we move through our athletes this way. So this, our first starting pair here, this will be Julia Kaplina up against Nina Lach. It's Nina Lach of Austria up against Julia Kaplina, our current world record holder from Russia. Julia here on the left-hand side, Nina Lach on the right. We get ready as these two athletes get clipped in and prepared. And ready themselves to move over to the speed wall. This is it, the start of our Speed World Cup final here in Chamonix. A good start from both athletes there, no false starts here. Nina Lach with a very quick pull-up, but look how quickly here Julia Kaplina takes the lead and holds it all the way to the very top with a time of 8.38. Next to Nina Lach's 9.92. So slower here then than we've seen Kaplina climb in the qualifying rounds, but that is to be expected. She knows Nina Lach will be the lowest to qualify. She knows she's got many more races yet to come tonight, and all that she has to do at this stage, as it is a knockout tournament, is just beat her off the running for the medals. Tough call for Nina Lach, making it through into the top 16, but to be paired up against our current world record holder, difficult draw. Here we are as well at the bottom then. You can see there are two different sets of numbers here. We've got the slightly larger numbers in the lighter colour, and then we've got these smaller numbers further in. Now that is to show the difference as to how quickly the athlete leaves the starting pad. So those numbers, the smaller numbers you can see that are further in there, that shows you how swiftly these athletes are able to leave the starting pad. Now this is going to be a very, very good one. This is Julia Levachkina up against Alina Gaidamakina. Yulia Levachkina, previous world record holder. She set her world records here in Chamonix. And Alida Gaidamakina, 1 world rank #1. So this is all to play for between these two teammates of Russia. Good start from both athletes, still neck and neck at present. Levachkina starting to move ahead. That Chamonix vibe getting into her again. Gaidamakina turning it round at the last though, and here it is. 8.99 sees Gaidamakina moving forward and Levachkina going home. So Gaidamakina through to the next round, where she will face Yulia Kaplina. Yulia Kaplina still currently with our fastest time of the women's finals with 8.38 seconds, and also the fastest time of the day here with 7.70. One to watch out for as we move through the rest of this World Cup. You can see on the replay here how quickly that slight stumble, or stall rather, there from Levachkina gave Gaidamakina that window to push up towards the top. We now move on to Margot Heitz and Alexandra Elmer. Margot Heitz for France. We're expecting to hear a big cheer here. There's a huge crowd gathered in the square. There she is. And Alexandra Elmer of Austria on the right-hand side. Again, another clean start here. We can see Margot Heitz starting to pull into the lead. A stumble there from her gives Elmer an opportunity here, and she's taking it. And it is Alexandra Elmer here that will be moving forward into the final 8 with 9.66 seconds up against 9.76. 9.66 seconds for Alexandra Elmer. After a good start there from Margot Heitz as well. See the relief on Alexandra Elmer's face there. So much pressure on these athletes. Here we see the start. Margot Heitz taking an instant lead here about this third of the way. And then that slip gave that extra push to Alexandra Elmer and saw her with a 1/10 of a millisecond moving forward into the final 8. Our next pair then, Maria Krasavina and Elena Markusheva. Markusheva on the left-hand side, Maria Krasavina on the right. Krasavina, a big contender for the World Cup title here this year with the IFSC. 2 more teammates pair up to knock one of them out. Here we go. Krasavina taking a bit of a lead, but it's still pretty close. And unfortunately, that last-minute stumble from Markusheva took her out of the competition. 8.28 seconds. You can see here that the pressure was on Maria Krasavina. 8.28 seconds. That wasn't a steady climb for her at all. She definitely had to push to see her way into the final 8. Big difference between seeing Yulia Kaplina earlier on against Nina Lach. So we welcome back our next pair then now. Anok Jalbert up against Yana Lovorenko. Yana Lovorenko on the right-hand side and Jalbert on the left. A lot of pressure on Anok. She's a very well-known speed climber and she's here in front of a home crowd. Good start. Anok definitely feeling that pressure. Instantly takes the lead here. Can she hold it? Yana Lovorenko trying to pull it back, but it's Anok all the way. 8.35 seconds there for Jalbert. Fastest time of this female top 16 so far in our finals is 8.28 seconds. And that rests with Maria Krasavina. Next up then, Klaudia Buczek and Patricia Chudziak, both of Poland. Here we see our next 2 female athletes then. We have Klaudia Buczek on the left-hand side. and Patricia Chudziak on the right. Two athletes for Poland now. Klaudia Bugzek, a big contender on the speed circuit. We've seen Chudziak several times before as well. This is the face that we're used to recognizing on the speed tour. Klaudia Bugzek on the left-hand side here. Good start for both athletes. Bugzek taking a minor lead, but not much and not enough at the moment. Patricia Chudziak chasing her all the way. It is Bugzek, 8.76. Our next pairing then, Alexandra Rudzinska up against Anastasia Kloczkova. Poland against Russia next on our pairing. After we've completed our top 16 in the women's and found our top 8 of those female athletes that are moving forward to the next stage of our finals, we'll be going over to the men's top 16. And those guys are going neck and neck, just as we're seeing now, down to 8 before we return to the women's to take it down to just 4 athletes. So Rudzinska here on the left-hand side on route A, Anastasia Kloczkova on the right on route B. Poland against Russia. Good start here from both athletes. Anastasia Kloczkova starting to fall behind just slightly, but not much. Rudzinska's got a push here, and she does. 8.67 seconds to 9.15. 0.67 seconds for Rudzinska. Sees her through. Our final pairing, Edita Ropek and Monika... That's the second time this evening I've got it wrong. Monika Prokopiuk. I've said it so many times. Just got something caught on my tongue tonight. So, Edita Ropek up against Monika Prokopiuk, both of Poland. Here we see a replay of that last one. Rudzinska really having to push towards the top there. You can see the franticness in her face. She can see in the peripheral vision there just how close Kloczkova is to her. Past the halfway point as well. Ropek on the left, Prokopiuk on the right. Ropek starts to pull into a leading position here, but Prokopiuk isn't having any of it. Still neck and neck. A stumble here from Ropek gives Prokopiuk the opportunity, and there it is. 9.11 sees Prokopiuk, despite a relatively laggard start there against Ropek, suddenly coming into her own as soon as Ropek stumbled. 9.11. So our final 8 female athletes then are Julia Kaplina, Alina Gaidamakina, Alexandra Elmer, Maria Krasavina, Anok Jalbert, Klaudia Bugzek, Alexandra Rudzinska, and here, with that tap, Monika Prokopiuk. Now then, time to go over to the men's. Here we see Libor Hroza up against Johan Lacusta of France. Libor Hroza, the titan of speed climbing, earlier today with a time of 5.70. Fastest time so far here today. He's been training over in Canada recently. Something's obviously worked. An increase in his time. And Johan Lacusta of France, lowest to qualify earlier today. Here to try and take down the Titan. Great start from Libor Hroza, powering his way ahead. Here you see the improved levers of Libor. 6.16. 6.16 there for Hroza. And that extra length of limb that Libor has, when he gets into a driving force like we've just seen from him. There is little to stop him. That extra reach makes that climb that little bit easier. Here we see the start. So the camera can't even keep up here, just legs all the way to the top. Johan de Custer, 2 or 3 holds behind Rosa at the top. We now move over onto Reza Alaposhina Zandafar up against Leonardo Gontero. Both athletes to watch out for, but particularly Reza Alaposhina Zandafar. This gentleman here is a newcomer to the IFSC. Saw a little bit of him towards the end of last year. He started to appear again this year for Iran. Here we are, good clean start from both athletes. Zandafar taking the lead here. Gontero trying to pull it back. Can Reza hold it? Yes, he can. Only just 6.38 to Reza Alaposhina Zandafar. Still Libor Horoza with the fastest time of our top 16 so far tonight, though. We move over now then to Zhong Shishin up against Alexandra Shikov. Our third bout of the top 16. Handshake there from the 2 athletes. Leonardo Gontero, fantastic speed athlete, as you can see here. But Zandafar, as soon as he turned up last year, we were well aware that we were onto something special here. Very aggressive start, quick to move on and take the lead. Gontero coming into his own in the second half here, but Zandafar does not let up at all. 6.38 seconds, 6.54. Sees Reza Alaposhina Zandafar moving forward. Next up then, Zhong Shishin, Alexandra Shikov. That was a fine start by the look of things there. I thought it was going to be a false start, but it wasn't. But look how quick here Zhong took it back and away from Alexander Shikov. Shichin's still going to be on a high from Hayang just recently as well. That was a very swift start from Alexander Shikov, but turned around instantly by Zhong Shishin. 6.16. Exactly the same results here as Libor Hroza earlier on in this stage of the final. 2 athletes, both with the fastest time of the top 16, both to the 100th of a second, putting in the same climb here. 6 seconds, 16 milliseconds. Here we see from the start how quick to pull up. We see there from Shikov. And how quickly Zhong just bats him away as he pushes for the top. Next up, Daniil Boldarev up against Arseny Shevchenko. Daniil with a win recently in Baku. Another one of the taller speed athletes. Much more towards Libor's frame than Zhong Shishin's frame. Good start from both athletes. Daniil's going to be hungry here. He needs to stay in for Ukraine. Shevchenko fighting but falling behind. It is Daniil with confidence and the fastest time at this stage now. 6.05 seconds. Daniil will go forward to face Zhong Shishin in the next stage of this final. And we're going to see Libor Hroza up against Reza Alaposhina Zandafar as well. There's some good pairings coming out of this men's final here. A lot of excitement to look forward to in the final 8. Next up, Marcin Dzienski of Poland and Dmitry Timofeev. But here, just once more for you, is Danilo taking this one. Shevchenko really fighting towards the end there. Here is Marcin Dzienski there on the left-hand side for Poland, and Dmitry Timofeev for Russia. Marcin Dzienski with a fantastic record as a speed climber, put in the second fastest time here today with 6.95 seconds. That was next to Libor Rosa's 5.80. Expect to see some good things here from Dzienski. Here we are, but Timofeev, very aggressive start, very quick to move up here. Dzienski trying to fight for it and taking it. For a moment then it looked like it was going to be Timofeev, but right at the very last moment, Marcin Dzienski, 5.93 seconds, puts in the fastest time so far in this final. This is something that he did recently as well in Haiyang, all the way through the finals, managing to maintain the fastest time, just losing out towards the end. You see how frantic Dzienski was on the earlier stages, and then at the very last, almost a full body width ahead here, 6.25 against 5.93. Now in speed climbing, that is a big difference. So next up, Quentin Nambo up against Stanislav Kokorin, our world ranked number 1. Second to final pairing here. Oh, sorry, third. False start from Kokorin. Now they're allowed 1 per competition, meaning that if Kokorin false starts again, he will be eliminated from this competition, unable to continue. So that you can see the yellow card popping up against his name once more, and you're out. Good start now from both athletes, but Kokorin needs to do some making up here. A bit hesitant at the start, and it was hesitant enough as we see Quentin Nambo with 6.39 seconds knock out the hopeful here, the one we'd expect to be exceptional. Our world ranked number 1 Stanislav Kokorin going home to Quentin Nambo with 6.39 seconds. That is what a false start can do to you, ladies and gents. Make you a little bit hesitant the second time you start. That little bit of hesitation, more often than not, is enough. Next up then, Amir Maimuratov for Kazakhstan up against Basa Mawem. You can see Kokorin fighting to try and pull it back, but Nambo was away with himself here. 6.39 seconds. Interesting to look back into the qualifying rounds as well and to see that Quentin Nambo actually bested Kokorin's time in the previous stage as well, with a 6.26 seconds up against Kokorin's 6.31. Next up, Basa Mawem, a face that we're used to seeing, particularly in Chamonix, but also some of our other speed events, and has just improved so much this year in his speed climbing. You can see here how quickly he takes a lead. 6.15, unbelievable there. Very close to breaking that 5-second barrier. 6.15. Basa Mawem, a huge hope for France here in Chamonix. Next up then, Evgeny Wojciechowski up against Alessandro Santoni. Basa, time to rest here. Unfortunate there for Amir Maimuratov of Kazakhstan. A good start for Maimuratov, but Mawem just coming into his own. You can see that very similar style here to the kind of thing that we see from athletes like Daniel Boldarev and Libor Rosa, taller speed athletes. There's extra levers, with extra space on their levers, allowing them to push with a little bit more ease. Another athlete that takes after that style is here for us now, Evgeny Wojciechowski, the current world record holder, on the left-hand side, up against Alessandro Santoni. Good start from both, and again you see that long drawn-out process, but a stall here from Wojciechowski. It's Santoni all the way. Very unexpected. 6.65 seconds. 6.65 seconds sees Wojciechowski out and Santoni through. Oh, we've seen a lot of the big names go out of this final unexpectedly here in the men's. We've bid a fond farewell to Leonardo Gontero, We've also lost Stanislav Kokorin, and we've now just lost Evgeny Wojciechowski. Athletes we would expect to more often than not see on the podium here. You can see the stall. It's a slip there with the left foot. Watch it again here. Just doesn't quite land it in the pocket enough. Kicks out. And that stall is enough to lose him. His place on the final 8. Santoni now moving forward. Time now for us to go back over onto the women's in our final 8 female athletes here. And this is going to be one for the record books, I'm thinking. It's Julia Kaplina up against Alina Gaidamakina. Two exceptionally well-known speed athletes, exceptionally fast. World record holder on the left. Up there on the world rankings, Alina Gaidamakina on the right. Kaplina taking it into her own here, though. Gaidamakina and Kaplina stalls. Kaplina stalls at the very last there, and Alina Gaidamakina managing to turn it round. That was very much the tortoise and the hare at that point. Gaidamakina just consistently holding on to it. We saw Kaplina racing ahead and stalling. Very much a case of the tortoise and the hare. And we see Gaidamakina going forward, not Kaplina as we would have expected. Next up then we have Alexandra Elmer up against Maria Krasavina. Here we can see the moment that it all came crashing down for Julia Kaplina. A slip at that last moment, 3 moves away from a top. Here we are, Alexandra Elmer on the left-hand side, Maria Krasavina on the right. Krasavina taking a lead here, Elmer fighting but falling behind. It's Krasavina all the way. 8.26 seconds. Goes to Krasavina. She will face Alina Gaidamakina in our semi-finals after our next 2 races. Here we see the replay again. Our next pair out then. We welcome back Anok Jalbert and Claudia Buczek. Current fastest time of our finals in the women's belongs to Maria Krasavina now, after that previous climb with 8.26 seconds. It's the fastest we've seen in the women's so far at this stage. Next up, Anok Jalbert, Claudia Buczek. France against Poland. The pressure is now truly on Anok Jalbert for a chance at the medals. And here we go. Buczek trying to fight, but Jalbert really, really wants this, you can tell. Very scrappily, but she's making her way. 8.25, also now with the new fastest time of this stage. We see Anok Jalbert moving forward. Something to please the crowd here. 8.25 seconds. And as you can see, it's raining. It has been raining since we arrived. As far as we are aware, it is going to continue to rain until we leave. We're hoping that's not going to affect the competition too much tomorrow when we get into our lead semi-finals, and then later on in the evening, the lead finals as well. Here we see that again. Jalbert scrabbling here. Managing to land every time though. And 8.25 seconds sees her through for a shot at the medals now. She's in the final 4. Who is going to be the 4th of that final 4? We now look to see Alexandra Rodzinska up against Monika Prokopiuk. Good start from both athletes. Rodzinska taking a minor lead and Prokopiuk stalling. It's Rodzinska all the way here. Plenty of free time. 8.30 against 13.49, unfortunately, due to that stall. 8.30. And Rodzinska is through to face Jalbert, the next stage here. Over to the men's now then, our final 8, taking it down to the final 4. We are about to witness Libor Hroza, the titan of speed climbing, up against Reza Alaposhina Zandafar, this newcomer. Here you see it again, this is the early stall here for Prokopiuk. Looks like the foot wasn't quite comfortable, tries to get it on again, couldn't do it, and by that point it was all over. Radzinska was already at the very top. One slip here, disappears from shot, and it's Radzinska and an empty wall all the way to the finish. And here we are then. Hroza against Alaposhina Zandafar. Hold on to your hats because this is going to be fast. Here we are, full start there from Reza Alaposhina. Attention clearly starting to mount in these athletes now. A lot of pressure on both of these guys to try and have a shot at the medal. So you can see a little bit too quick. Massive difference in style between these two athletes, considering the route is identical. You'll see that again now when we go for another run there. You can see the yellow card. Clean start from both, and Hroza stalls at the start. It is Alaposhina Zandafar at the moment, and it's him all the way. 6.44 seconds against 7.15. And Hroza is going to be very disappointed with that, but Reza, on the other hand, ecstatic to see himself moving forward. 6.44 seconds. It's not the fastest time today. It's fast enough. You can see the relief in his face here. He knew that was a tough bout. He knew that Libor wasn't going to go down without a fight. Next up, another clash of the titans, but we'll come back to that in a minute when you see this stall here now from Libor. It's a misfoot again, this time with the right. Very early on. And he almost makes an effort of pulling it back here at this stage. There's not much between them. Incredible how quick Libor makes it up. 7.15 to 6.44. That's not much of a difference. After a stumble, Zong Shishin on the left-hand side, Daniel Boldarev on the right. Both athletes have won gold medals this year. One of them's going home here. Here we are, quick start, good athletes. And a slip there from Daniel Boldarev, and a slip towards the end from Zong Shishin. Very unusual to see both athletes having that slip. I'm not entirely sure what's happened here. Let's watch it again. Fine at this point. Slip there, we see Daniel disappear. What stops the top out here from Zong Shishin? It's looking like Daniel lost a shoe at one point during that one as well. Chalk bag has been thrown across. It looks like we're going to go again here. These two athletes haven't been pulled away from the wall just yet.
Ça va, Chamonix? Là, c'est grosse négociation. De toute façon, Sing il va rien lâcher.
So words at the moment between Daniel Boldarev and Zong Shishin.
C'est impressionnant comme il est régulier, il commet très très peu d'erreurs.
Official is looking like he's telling them that's it, you're both done.
Mr. President about this run. If Sing Sing is qualified or for the year.
Which is interesting. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Stumble from Daniel. It looked like a shout or something caused Zhong Xixin to stop his attempt. See if we can find out what that is for you in a few moments' time. At the moment, we're going to be moving forward with Marcin Dziecienski and Quentin Nambo. Dziecienski on the left-hand side, Nambo on the right.
Bon, on vous dira ça tout à l'heure. On va pas prendre de risque parce que là, on va remonter sur les runs de qualification. On va dire Dziecienski qui va faire son entrée, Dziecienski, Marcin, et qui va être opposé, mesdames et messieurs, à celui qui a sorti.
So, Marcin Dziecienski on the left-hand side, Quentin Nambo on the right. Dziecienski with the fastest time so far out of all of the male athletes with 5.93 seconds. Nambo with 6.39 in the previous stage.
First run just before the guy who's qualified is Mr. Bolderiev. On perd Sing Sing Song, le chinois.
And our athletes take their positions. Good start from both athletes. Dziecienski, an instant lead here, and he's holding it at this stage. No slip, and it's all the way. Very clean, very smooth run. 5.95 here, very close to his previous one. Dziecienski moves forward, 5.95 seconds. Next up, we see Bassem Mawem up against Alessandro Santoni. Here we see Dziecienski maintaining that lead from the very off, all the way up to the top. A near perfect run here from him. Nearly as fast as his fastest time, just 0.02 of a second away from the fastest time today, which was also set by him. Now then over to the 18-year-old Alessandro Santoni, up against Bassem Mawem, one of the more experienced speed climbers. World Youth Champion in speed, Alessandro Santoni from Central Saanich in Canada, 2013, took the gold medal there. It's looking like a false start from Santoni here, not Mawem. So, yellow card for him. We get ready to go again. So, Bassem Mawem on the left-hand side, Alessandro Santoni on the right. One full start so far. Good start this time. Mawem taking a lead here. Can he hold on to it? Santoni's fighting, but not quite enough. 6.00. Nearly 6 seconds on the absolute dot. Sees Mawem move forward. Into the semi-finals, 6.00. Santoni have to be happy with making the top 8 here. And here we can see Mawem taking that early lead, managing to hold it. Santoni vigorous, frenzied as he's pushing his way up the wall here, desperate to try and claw back that gap, but just not quite quick enough. Mawem managing it in 6 seconds on the dot. Time now then over to our semi-finals here. Now this will decide which of these athletes manages to go forward into the grand final and which one of them goes to the small final. The grand final athlete, the winner of this race, will have secured themselves either a gold or silver medal. The loser will have a chance at trying to claim the bronze. Nina Gedemakina on the left-hand side, Maria Krasavina on the right. Fastest time so far in this final today has been Maria Krasavina's 8.26 seconds. False start here from Gedemakina. That's the one alert.
Elle a raison, hein, c'est le moment parfait pour prendre vraiment des risques là sur ce round de demi-finale. Une des deux va passer en grande finale.
Krasavina getting ready to move again. There's the yellow card. Good start this time from both athletes. Krasavina pushing forward here. Gator-Makiner a little bit further behind, and Krasavina is off. Randomly, not entirely sure what happened there, but Gator-Makiner, yet again, due to a mistake from the other athlete, Gator-Makiner, who has become the tortoise of this race, like she was in the last one as well, the one person that kept that steady speed and didn't rush too far ahead. She's dealt very well under pressure so far this final, Alina Gator-Makiner, and it's definitely coming through for her. So hopefully we can see here quite what happened with Krasavina. Here we see it now, moving up, and is it a twisted foot or something? Hand didn't quite reach the hole, the head of her. Not entirely sure what happened there to bring her off. So, Krasavina goes into the small final. Now then, Anuk Jalbert up against Alexandra Rudzinska. Anuk Jalbert taking a lead here. Rudzinska, can she pull it back? A stall from Jalbert. Rudzinska taking a huge lead here. It is going to be hers by the look of things. Yes, it is. 8.55. Disappointing for the crowd, but still a chance for a bronze medal for Anuk Jalbert. 8.55 sees Rudzinska moving forward into the grand final, guaranteeing herself, at the very least, a silver medal.
C'est ça la vitesse, hein, c'est très rapide et juste après, on enchaînera avec les podiums de cette étape de Coupe du Monde de Chamonix.
Here we see here Anuk Jalbert, that early stall. Cost her dearly, tried to get the momentum up again but couldn't quite get back to that same pace. Rudzinska managing to hold her own, fight the way all the way up. 8.55 for her. Sees the win. Now then, over to the men's, we see Reza Alaposhina Zandafar up against Daniel Boldarev here. Not entirely sure the reason for this. Alaposhina Zandafar with one yellow card against his name. Daniel Boldarev moving forward in the fight against Zhong Shichin earlier on.
Alors attention parce qu'on a déjà un faux départ pour l'Iranien. Il faut qu'il attende. Ready.
Good start for both athletes. That's going to be good for Reza, but he's falling behind here. Daniel powering ahead. A switch around. 6 seconds on the dot against 5.93. Unfortunately for Reza, he's going to have to be happy with the small final. Daniel Boldarev, 5.93. It is tied with Zienski, the fastest time we've seen here today.
S'il vous plaît, je voudrais que le temps s'arrête sur la place du Mont-Blanc parce qu'on peut peut-être vivre un rêve ensemble éveillé. Il n'a jamais eu de médaille en Coupe du Monde actuellement. Il est en demi-finale, il peut arriver à prendre sa place pour la grande finale.
Marcin Zienski up against Bassa Małam here now then. Marcin Zienski of Poland, Bassa Małam of France. Another hope here for France. But don't rule out Zienski just yet. Fastest time so far in the men's final, 5.93 seconds. Be very interesting to see Zienski up against Boldarev in a few moments' time, both having put in the quickest performance of the final. But don't rule Bassa out just yet.
Ready.
Clean start, and Zienski taking an early lead, but Małam fighting back. Can he pull it back? It's Dzienski all the way, 5.80. 5.80, which on an official wall would have been a new world record. Unfortunately, it's not at this stage. But Dzienski, 5.80, moves forward into the grand final. Bassam Mawem then will go up against Reza Araposhina Zandafar in the small final in a few moments' time. Incredible performance there from Marcin Dzienski. That was absolutely flawless. 6 seconds for Bassam Mawem, which interestingly enough was the same result that Reza Araposhina Zandafar just got. So our two small finalists in the men's have put in the same score during this final, and the two grand finalists in the men's have also put in the same time during this final. It's going to be close. Next up then, Makina. Oh no, sorry, Maria Krasavina up against Anok Jalbert, a small final. This for the bronze medal. False start from Jalbert. Huge amount of pressure on her right now. Fantastic crowd here in Chamonix. Mass of people gathered here in the rain. See a home hope. Wasn't much in that at all. Here we are then. Another attempt. Good start this time. You see the difference, how much Jalbert has had to wait there. Maria Krasavina taking the lead and holding it at the present moment in time. It is Krasavina, 7.70. Jalbert with 9.44, 7.70 for Maria Krasavina. That is the bronze medal, ladies and gents. Fantastic performance here from Krasavina throughout the competition. Consistently keeping up that speed, keeping that lead ahead of Jalbert, who after that delay, with a slight hesitation at the start after that false start, also had a stall towards the top there. You can just see it on the right hand side. 9.44 is not a good time for Jalbert. So over to the men's then, our small final here. Reza Araposhina Zandafar up against Bassam Mawem. Both athletes in the previous round put in a time of exactly 6 seconds. Let's see if they can improve on that here. Good start for both athletes. Reza, despite the pressure, managing to keep that pressure on himself to move fast. And a stall from Bassam Mawem sees Reza Araposhina Zandafar take the win with 6.01 seconds. Not an improvement, but enough. Reza takes the 3rd place position, the bronze medal here in Chamonix. Very unfortunate circumstance for Bassam Mawem, that stall there. As we know, the pressure can get to you. See that stall there from Basser over on the right-hand side of the screen. Reza very pleased with himself. That is a bronze medal in the can for Iran. Next up, we go over to the women's, and we are joined with our grand finalists, Alina Gedamakina and Alexandra Rudzinska. This for the gold medal. And at this stage, for both of these athletes, really, the pressure isn't as intense. They both know that they've won themselves already a place on the podium. They shouldn't be too jittery at this stage. They're clearly going to want that gold medal. But they've already secured themselves a place on that podium at the end of this competition. So Alina Gaidamakina with one strike against her name. The yellow card there for a false start earlier on. Alexandra Rudzinska getting ready here. Gaidamakina with an earlier time of 8.38 seconds. Looking at Rudzinska, 8.30, one of her fastest times. Clean start. Both athletes neck and neck at the stage at the moment. Rudzinska went to move ahead, but it looks like Gaidamakina has taken advantage, and Rudzinska has slipped and fallen. Gaidamakina has managed to keep up all the way through this one, keep the pressure on the other athletes, has not been daunted at all by the competition here, and 8.30 seconds sees Gaidamakina with a gold medal here. Huge congratulations to her. And we see Rudzinska, Alexandra Rudzinska, taking the silver medal here in the women's final. So, provisional results at this stage, just to keep you updated, are in third place, Maria Krasavina. In second place, Rudzinska. And in first place, Gaidamakina. Fall happened quite high up here. It was a good race up towards these last few holds. And then Rudzinska knew it wasn't happening. Gaidamakina went all the way. Over now then to the men's grand final. Both of these athletes putting in identical scores earlier on today. Daniel Boldarev up against Marcin Dzienski. Daniel with a medal this year from Baku. Marcin Dzienski narrowly missing out at Hayang just recently. Very impressive performances from Marcin recently. A huge improvement in his speed. That was a false start, and it was Daniel's strike against him then. Our athletes get ready to start again with one strike now against Daniel Boldarev's name, though. He's going to be hesitant at this next start, and Marcin will know that. He'll try and take advantage of it. Good start here, but Marcin takes a slip, and Daniel is all the way. Daniel slips a little bit, but he's keeping it on. It is Daniel again here for another gold medal. Manages to cling on despite a stumble himself there a few moments ago. 7.20 seconds, which is not fast at all by Daniel Boldarev's standards. To win with 7.20 seconds, but managing to hold on after a couple of stumbles. Marcin, though, unfortunately falling down, but he's at least got the consolation prize of a silver medal here in Chamonix. Here we can see the stall early on from Marcin. Tries to pull it back and then just knows he's not going to. Ends up pushing away from the wall. There's this second stall that we see in this final race from Daniel. Sort of hopping his way up to the top there, but managing to cling on to the holds and grab himself a gold medal. The second, in fact, of this year, 2014. And Daniel very much now securing his place on the top of the World Cup rankings for Ukraine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, then our results as they are in the men's. The provisional results at the moment are Reza Araposhina-Zandafar in third place, Marcin Dzienski in second, and Daniel Boldarev in first place, his second gold medal of 2014. In the women's, Maria Krasavina in third place, Alexandra Rudzinska in second, and Alina Gaidamakina in first, her first gold medal of 2014. Fantastic. Of all of our athletes here, So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be getting some interviews for you in a few moments' time, and very briefly we'll bring you up the results, the live results as they stand at the moment. Obviously, all these results are provisional. Some of them could possibly change. But in a few moments' time, we'll bring up those results on your screen. And please do get in touch with the IFSC. You can do so by throwing them a shout on Twitter using hashtag IFSCWC in the bottom right corner. And bear with us a few moments. We'll be chatting to some of these athletes very soon.
Giovanni Giorgio, but everybody calls me George.
Joining us now is Daniil Boldarev of the Ukraine. Daniil, well done. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thanks. It's very good because every competition I have a pedestal. It's very good for me and my country and my trainer, my parents. But in this competition, I think it's very good lucky because with Zonk, you see, this running not very good, and I have a yellow card. But go in the final running good, and the final in the first place not good running, but not good time. But feeling very good because training more and my training give me a good condition for this competition and another competition in future, and I have stability. It's very good. And feeling very bad because rain it's not good for sportsmen, but it's very interesting. I think it's emotion. Rain it's hardless for sportsmen, and I think it's very good.
Well, you had the gold medal in Mokpo last year, and then this year Baku, now a gold medal behind you. Now this one as well. You are now at the very top of the World Cup rankings,
yes,
and hoping to stay there, yes?
Yes, I would like to stay in this position, but you see nowadays speed climbing, it's very motion and speed, and every person, every sport climber, speed climber, very stronger, very speedy, and I think everybody who go to the 10 best of the sportsmen in speed climbing, it will be a champion in the pedestal, same me, because very good condition, very good holes, very good and very good sportsman too, because nowadays it's a very motionless sport, this station.
It was
But
amazing.
it's very good. But I stay in the first place in the world rank, and it's very good.
It was amazing to see a win in 7 seconds and 20 here after the stalls from both of you. Were you aware that Marcin had fallen behind you at the very last?
I don't understand about.
Did you realize that Dzienski had gone in the final race?
No, I forgot. But with Zong, I'm not running, and it's my mistake. And Ukrainian coach. Very yes, and in Zensky I know, but maybe I am second, but it's not good. It's not good. I will be running. I will be running 7, 8 seconds, 9, not fall, only running, and maybe this chance and this gold medal.
Daniel, it's a fantastic run. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
Anything to say to anyone back at home in Ukraine? You can say to anything back home?
At home, parents, sister, my trainer, my mother, father, I love you, and all my people who go with me in my aim. It's very good. I love you, and will be good. Show good running in the net competition.
Daniel, thank you very much. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thanks. Take care.
Toutes sections confondues. Notre adjoint au sport aussi qui nous rejoint et notre président de la section d'escalade. Mesdames et messieurs, une ovation pour monsieur le maire qui, évidemment, va nous recevoir dignement sur cette belle place du Mont Blanc. Merci. Quelques mots simplement pour vous dire le plaisir que nous avons avec la communauté de communes, la municipalité de Chamonix, à vous recevoir et l'ensemble du club des sports. Merci aux fédérations qui nous font le plaisir d'avoir une fois de plus choisi Chamonix pour cette belle étape. Bravo donc à l'organisation. On a eu ce soir une très belle finale de la vitesse avec qui ouvre pour demain sur la difficulté. On se souhaite autant d'émotions que l'an dernier avec Romain Desgranges et cette belle victoire française l'an dernier. En tout cas, bravo pour ce soir, pour les finales et merci beaucoup pour cette capacité d'organisation. Messieurs les présidents, merci encore pour votre choix de Chamonix. Encore une fois, nous sommes honorés pour ce championnat qui, une fois de plus, je l'espère, aura honoré les spectateurs avec la qualité des athlètes qui se sont produits ce soir. Merci beaucoup. Merci monsieur le maire. Alors, Pierre-Henri Paillasson, notre trésorier de l'IFFC. Bonsoir, je crois que vous avez vu encore ce soir une très belle compétition de vitesse. Je crois que tout le monde progresse, les athlètes sont de plus en plus rapides, de plus en plus forts. Les organisateurs sont de plus en plus précis. Vous avez pu voir des très belles images sur les géants.
I'm happy because this is first my medal in this year.
Now, last year you had an exceptional year. You took the World Games. You also had a couple of gold medals in there as well. You won the overall World Cup rankings. This year now, obviously, as you said, it was your first gold medal, the first medal of this year. What's happened between last year and this year? What do you think's been going on in your mind?
I haven't motivation.
Not enough motivation at the start?
Yes.
Have you got it now?
Now I feel better, and I hope on the World Championship I will have motivation and good form, and I try to win.
You had a couple of close calls here on this one. What I found amazing watching, and I think a lot of people back home will have as well, was the fact that you just didn't let the stress get to you at all. You had a lot of falls going on around you. People were slipping and sliding all over the place. It just didn't affect you. Is there anything that you do that helps you stay focused?
Maybe, yes, maybe it's helped me. Today I haven't stress, haven't nervous. I was calm, and I hope I want to win.
It definitely came across, that calm nature worked. Do you do anything particularly for that? Do you listen to music in isolation? Is there anything?
I don't like
meditate?
It.
I don't know.
No, I just think about my friends, about my mother, about the good moments in my life.
It was exceptional. Thank you very much for speaking to us, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Madame Marie-Noël Fleury, parce qu'elle va nous présenter ce projet. Je crois que toute la vallée va réunir les plus beaux athlètes de tous les sports réunis de Chamonix. Et vous allez nous expliquer tout ça, ça se passera demain soir avant les finales.
Oui, grand merci. On a grand plaisir ici d'avoir des sportifs évidemment qui sont nés ici, qui vivent ici, qui progressent ici au club de sport ou dans d'autres structures et qui deviennent des champions, qui sont aux Jeux Olympiques de Sochi, donc qui tournent en Coupe du Monde, en Coupe d'Europe. Et demain, ce sera le lancement du grand team Chamonix qui réunira l'ensemble de ces jeunes. Ces jeunes auront pour mission, outre l'adhésion de la vallée, des socioprofessionnels de la vallée, d'être des ambassadeurs de la destination Chamonix et de tous les sports qu'on peut y pratiquer avec grand plaisir. Merci à vous d'être demain pour ce grand lancement officiel, juste avant la finale de la difficulté. Grand merci.
Merci Marie-Noël, monsieur le maire vient de m'annoncer le bulletin météo pour demain, mesdames et messieurs, grand beau, c'est la Caraïbe qui va flotter en plein cœur de la place du Mont-Blanc. Je vous demande d'accueillir les médaillés de ce soir, de la 3e à la 1re position. Ils vont remettre les médailles ce soir. Monsieur Luc Verrier, du président du Club des Sports, faites leur innovation pour la 3e place. Pierre Rioux pour la 2e, Pierre-Henri Paillasson pour la médaille d'or. Monsieur le maire va remettre les lots à la 1re place. Madame Marie-Noël Fleury remettra les lots pour la 2e position. Et Alain Richier, notre président de la section escalade de Chamonix, remettra les lots pour la 3e marche du podium. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, bronze medal representing Russia. I would like a big applause for Maria Krasavina, Russia. Silver medal representing Poland. Would like a round of applause for Aleksandra Rudzinska. Gold medal in champion tonight representing Russia. Big applause for Alina Gedamakina. Innovation pour Alina Gedamakina qui encore une fois est la déesse de Chamonix, mesdames et messieurs. And please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the national anthem. Ovation pour Maria Krasavina, Aleksandra Rudzinska et Alina Gedamakina. Okay, this is time now for the medal awarding ceremony and podium. Please welcome the medalists. mesdames et messieurs. Third position, representing Iran. I would like a big applause for Reza Alipourshina, bronze medal. Le jeune homme iranien qui avait remporté une Coupe du Monde la saison dernière. Je voudrais qu'on lui fasse une ovation. Il a été redoutable ce soir. Magnifique, exceptionnel. Seul représentant de son pays. Silver medal representing Poland. Big applause for Marcin Zielski. Gold medal and champion, Chamonix champion tonight, representing Ukraine. Big applause for Danilo Bondiev. À l'innovation pour Danilo Bondiev, vainqueur de Chamonix ce soir. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the national anthem. Applaudissements messieurs dames, Bondiev, encore de Chamonix, Marcin Zielski, silver medal, and Reza Alipourshina representing Iran, bronze medal. Congratulations guys. À l'habitude, on termine toujours avec les filles sur le podium, on appelle ça le podium de la tentation. Les filles, les garçons, the best climber for the female and the best man. Make some noise everybody! Voilà, j'espère que ça vous aura plu, c'était tout juste. Oh, et ben un photographe qui va être marié dans l'année. Il va faire continuer dans le public. Et ben voilà, j'espère que vous en êtes heureux. Félicitations à celui qui gagne le bouquet. Mesdames et messieurs, demain matin, on retrouvera les demi-finales de la difficulté. La discipline maître de cette compétition. Vous allez voir un petit peu les 26 meilleures filles, les 26 meilleurs garçons. Et demain soir, les finales. Congratulations everybody. Have a good night, Chamonix.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's big with us all the way through this evening. Fantastic performance from all our medalists here. Just to keep you updated on what happened earlier on, why Daniel was at this stage, the whole chat, the interview we had with him, was due to the fact that actually when an incident like that happens, you take the fastest time from the previous round, and that split between Zolchishyn and Daniel Boldarev. That faster time went to Daniel, and then again went to Daniel to secure him the gold medal here. So a fantastic result all round for these athletes. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you tomorrow in the morning with our semi-finals in the lead. Thanks for tonight. I'll see you soon. Good night.